Hey everyone, welcome back. This is our weekly live show, and we are going to bring to you topics every week that are going to enhance your entrepreneurial journey and help you to manage all of the many components of business and of life that are so essential to sustainable success. For those of you that are just getting to know me for the first time, my name is Kelly Roach, and I help entrepreneurs and business leaders around the world to achieve financial freedom. And what I love the most about what I get to do each day is watching the transformation of people achieving goals and dreams that they previously never believed possible. And if you want this weekly inspiration, definitely make sure that you subscribe to the channel and you hit the bell so that you never miss a single episode. And most importantly, I'm excited to come live with you here each week. Make sure you say hello as you join because I want to answer your questions live. I want to be able to literally serve you in the moment so that you can create a breakthrough while we're here live on this show every single Wednesday together. And I am excited to dig into all different areas of your entrepreneurial career, building a winning team, productivity, systems, sales, marketing, branding, how to help you build that business of your dreams, right? That is what this is all about. So I hope you'll hang with me. And most importantly, I hope that you will ask your questions, that you will bring topics to the table. I want to make the show really meaningful and relevant for you. And I want to make sure that you're getting as much value out of the show as humanly possible. So make sure you post those comments in the chat down below. If I miss them during the live stream, my team will gather those questions and I will make sure that I come back and answer them in another upcoming show. And make sure you show up early every single week. I went live a little bit early today so that you'd all be notified right on time. And I want to invite you to come on and ask questions and interact. I want to invite you to be a part of this community and to be a part of breakthroughs in the moment and on demand. That's what this show is about every single week. So looking forward to getting to know you, looking forward to serving you, and looking forward to having this special 20-minute, 30-minute window together every single week to help you move your business, your goals, and your dreams forward. So that being said, let's get into a conversation about leadership in turbulent times and really leading and managing high stress, high burnout in an environment of wild unpredictability, right? If we are truthful about what is going on right now, there is an unbelievably high level of uncertainty in the world. There is an unbelievable level of turbulence as business owners that we are all facing every single day in the online space. Things are rapidly changing. The collective mindset of the world is shifting. And as business owners, it's calling on us, it's stretching us to be agile. It's stretching us to really become more. And if there was ever a moment during our careers that we really need to focus in on our leadership, our change management skills, our communication skills, it is now, right? And it's hard sometimes to balance it all as a business owner where you're trying to drive the implementation and you're trying to drive the action in the moment of what needs to happen in order to lead the change and be the change that's necessary, while at the same time trying to effectively lead through change management, communicate with your clients, communicate with your team, right? I constantly feel like I'm trying to over communicate, yet not communicating enough. I'm trying to keep everybody in the loop on what I'm doing, yet many times it feels like it's not enough. You're trying to be in consideration of everyone with every decision that you're making, and yet someone always feels left out or left behind. And these are the things as leaders that you feel and that you have to work through. I hope today's conversation can be a meaningful one for each of you from the standpoint of really thinking through a new lens about leadership and thinking about how to build your leadership tool set and skill set around change management and managing stress and even burnout during turbulent times. And I think it's important to be having this conversation because I think on a lot of levels, what is ahead for all of us is a lot of challenges, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of unpredictability, a lot of uncertainty. And that is real in this environment. Inflation is way up. There is a war going on. We just got done 2 years of a pandemic with mandates and lockdowns. So there's no one that's imagining uncertainty. It's not in someone's mind that there is a reason to be concerned. There are legitimate things going on in the world that are cause for concern for everyone. So let's talk a little bit about how to keep yourself whole as a CEO so that you can effectively lead your market and lead your team through navigating this changing world that we are doing business in. So, I want to give a couple perspectives that I think will be helpful for you. The first perspective is that most of the time, when we have a really high level of worry or concern about something that we have to deal with, whether it's in business or whether it's in life, usually we have that very strong level of concern. And many times, the anxiety and the worry about what is going to happen and the stress of anticipation is many times greater than the pain of actually moving through it into a space of solution. So I really want everyone to think about that. Think about what I just said. Many times, the pain, the stress, the anxiety, the worry leading up to the thing that you're going to have to work through is harder than or worse than the pain of actually moving through it, of actually dealing with it. So, what does that mean? It means that many times, as business owners and as business leaders, we're carrying that worry, that stress, that anxiety for sometimes weeks or months leading up to moving through it. And the compound effect of that can be devastating for our health and our mental well being. It's taking something that in the moment that you have to actually deal with it and process it and address it, it may be a level 2. But because we spend so much time leading up to that point, worrying and stressing and struggling to process how we're going to deal with it, it takes something that would have been a 2 on a level of pain from 1 to 10, and it makes it a 20 because we've processed that pain over and over again in anticipation of dealing with it versus just dealing with it. Okay? So what am I suggesting? What am I saying to do about this? What do we do about this? Well, as a business owner or a leader, really eliminating the act of procrastination. When you have a really tough decision to make, when you have a change that you have to make in the business, something just doesn't feel right anymore. You have a program change you need to make. You have a structure change you need to make. You have a personnel change you need to make. Something is just simply no longer a fit or it's no longer working. Many times we hem and we haw, we procrastinate, we look at it from 1,000 different angles. We take, months to make a decision that could be made in a split moment if we listen to our gut instinct. And that has a major toll on our mental and physical health. So, what can you do as a leader? What am I suggesting? Well, the first thing that I'm suggesting is that you make these decisions more swiftly. When your gut is telling you that something is no longer fit, It's not working anymore. It's time to make a new decision. Do so quickly. Listen to your gut. Don't delay the inevitable by waiting and allowing the very thing that's not working to compound over time and ultimately be a far worse and bigger problem than it would have been if you just dealt with it in real time. Okay. So the first thing is as a leader, really looking at taking your power back when there's a big decision to make and putting a stake in the ground and making that courageous decision, even when that courageous decision sometimes is facing your fears, it's processing and working through something that you feel scared to do. It's making a decision that feels really uncomfortable for you in that moment. As a business owner and leader, the more swiftly that you face that thing, the more easily you will and the more quickly you will actually get to the other side of it, which is what's going to allow you to finally move forward in your life. Most of the anxiety and the stress that you're dealing with comes as a result of the anticipation of dealing with the thing, not the dealing with the thing itself. And I hope that is clear and I hope that makes sense to everyone. It's the anticipation of it that weighs so heavily on your heart, your mind, takes a toll on your mental and physical health. Think about how you can move through those things more definitively and more swiftly. Number one. Number two, a huge thing that causes burnout for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and business leaders is mental toll and decision fatigue. Many times, if you talk to a successful business owner, it's not that they're so tired because they're physically working so hard. It's many times the mental and physical toll of the decisions that they're carrying and all the different things that they're processing and working through and trying to manage at any given time. You need to do a couple things to relieve some of that mental load and that mental pressure. One of those things that you need to do is empowering your team to not be your helper, but instead to take full ownership of the things that they're doing in your business so that they are able to take that mental load and take that off of your plate and create ownership of that thing. Many times as business owner, we ask people for help, we pay people to help us, we hire people to help us, and yet we're still carrying the full mental load because we're not giving complete ownership to the people that we've hired for that very reason, to help us. Okay. So allow that mental load and full ownership of those things that you hire people to help you with to move with them so that you can free up bandwidth and free up space to create and to look forward. Okay. So if you're watching this video right now and you've had an aha moment, I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you gotten a takeaway from what we've shared so far? I want to actually see you guys give me a comment. I'm going to write hello in the chat to all our viewers right now. And I want to hear from you guys. Have you had a takeaway from what I'm sharing in the show today? What is your big takeaway from what we've shared so far? Have you seen or have you identified that maybe there is an area of opportunity for you? That's what I want to hear from you in the chat. Okay. So we're talking about mental load. We're talking about fatigue. We're talking about, how to manage stress and burnout in a really turbulent environment, right? So another key thing is when we as business owners are working through big challenges, many times, it is very easy to get in a state of scarcity because you have so many concerns and fears around, is the company going to be okay? Are we going to be able to make payroll for the month? Are we going to be able to be profitable this month? Are we going to make enough sales to get to our goal, right? Am I going to be able to pay the bills? Am I going to be able to keep my team on board? Am I going to be able to pay for that tool that we need or the advertising that we need, right? And so it's very easy as business owners to get to a state of scarcity. And even if you're a big thinker, a high performer, you're a person that has very high confidence, you are an elite performer, you are a strong leader. It is very easy to get into a state of scarcity, which then actually spirals more and more bad things happening in our businesses because of course we attract more of the level that we are vibrating at. So whatever level we are vibrating at, we attract more of that into our lives. Whatever we're focused on, we attract more of that into our lives. And we all know the test, right? Here's a great test. Think of a car that you love, right? Think of a car that you love. Now, hold the idea of that car in your mind. Start visualizing that car that you want to buy, right? Put a picture of that car in your dream board. And what do we know happens next? It's the oldest thing in the book. What happens next is you picked that car that you liked, you put that car in your dream board, and all of a sudden, what starts happening? You start seeing that car everywhere. Who has this happened to before? Give me a comment in the chat if you have literally had this happen to you. I think pretty much every person I know would say that at whatever point that they were going to buy their last or their next car, that this exact thing happened to them. And they begin to see that car absolutely everywhere because you're resonant with that. Your brain is connecting with neural pathways, and it's literally seeking and discovering more of that thing that you are resonating with, that you are seeking, that you are looking for. Now, here's the problem. Our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between good and bad. Our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between attracting what you do want and attracting what you don't want. So, as business owners and leaders, when we're having a high level of stress, when we switch gears into that mode of stress, anxiety, worry, fear, we attract more problems. We have more issues come up. We have more dollars fall through. We have a harder time closing sales because that's now what we're resonating with. That's what we're vibrating with. That's where our focus is. So, what do? You have to train your brain to continually move back from a mode of scarcity to a mode of creation. And this is easier said than done. All of us, when something bad happens, immediately begin to go down a rabbit hole of all the other bad things that could possibly happen. It's like, when's the other shoe going to drop? What's the next thing that's going to happen? What else do I need to be prepared for? What else could go wrong? This is what naturally happens. Why? Because our brain is protecting us. It's our animal instincts. It's protecting us. It's saying, what else do you need to be prepared for? What other imminent danger is right around the corner? So, what does this mean? It means as high performers, we have to constantly train our brains to revert back from scarcity to creation. From scarcity to creation. You have to continually get your brain to keep rotating back from scarcity to creation. Scarcity to creation. How do you rotate back into creation? Well, you have to turn your attention from what went wrong and what didn't happen that you wanted to, and what are the things that could go wrong, and what are the things that you could be worried about. You need to rotate your focus over to, what do I want to create in this moment? What is the outcome that I do desire? What is the thing that I want to manifest? What is the thing that I literally want to energetically be on the same vibration with? So you have to turn your energy and turn your focus back from scarcity to creation. You have to be in a mode of what you're going to build, what you're going to create, what you're going to turn from nothing into something, right? And this is easier said than done when you're managing all of the moving pieces of everything that you're faced with every day, which is why they say personal development is like bathing, right? You gotta do it every day. You gotta do it every day. And I have a list of manifestations right here. I have a list right here. It's literally sitting in front of my keyboard while I'm working, and I literally have these mantras right in front of me of what I want to create. So that in a moment where something doesn't go my way, something goes wrong, a deal falls through, a team member quits, we have something happen that's upsetting or disappointing, that I can immediately remember, okay, this happened. I have to process it. I have to deal with it. It is what it is. But this is what I'm creating. This is what I want to vibrate with. This is what I want to manifest. This is what I'm building. How do I solve this problem? I'm pointing my brain. I'm literally pointing my brain to how do I solve this problem? And it's a positive problem instead of a negative one. Okay. So personal growth, personal development is something that needs to happen each and every day. It is not something that you can do once and say, oh, I'm a positive person. I'm a courageous leader. I have this thing figured out. It doesn't work that way because our instinctual, we'll call it monkey brain, reptile brain, whatever you want to call it, is always going to be working to protect you, which means that it is always going to keep coming back to this idea of what do you need to worry about? What do you need to protect yourself from? What do you need to make sure that you're safe from? And you have to intervene. You have to do your own human intervention with your own focus and bring yourself back to what you want to create, what you want to build, what you're manifesting, what you're putting out in the world, what you're drawing your attention and focus to. Okay. So obviously when we talk about, managing, and I love the comments in the chat, what do I want to create in this moment? Adam said personal development is like bathing. You have to do it every day. It's so true. Right. So comment in the chat if you got a takeaway from today's session so far and what your biggest takeaway has been. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Also, as I said at the beginning of the show, I want to answer your questions live. So my goal is to answer your questions live on the show every day and to make this just a really valuable dialogue. So definitely feel free to post those questions. If I don't answer them today, my team will feed them to me and I'll make sure I answer them in one of the upcoming episodes. But the bottom line here is, you are capable of living a life of absolute fulfillment, and you are capable of managing your stress so that you can enjoy a high quality of life even while building your empire. You have to make intentional decisions every single day, whether it's, avoiding procrastination, like we talked about earlier, facing the problem, the challenge, the fear that's in front of you right now, whether it's, really managing your focus, managing where your attention is going. And then, of course, there's all the obvious things that are so obvious and so basic that so many times we fall off the wagon. 8 hours of sleep, drinking plenty of water, exercising every day, putting things in your brain every morning, use your phone, go on YouTube, listen to a positive podcast, an inspirational video, some mantras, whatever it is. But those basic things that you can do every single day, yes, I have to bring them up again because we don't do them. We do them inconsistently, we do them partially. And so the results that we get simply reflect that, right? So these are the things that we need to think about as high performance leaders in uncertain times. Rotating from scarcity to creation is key. Okay. And remembering that chances are there's going to be instances in which the worst thing that you feared would happen is going to happen. And what you're going to learn every single time is that ultimately things are going to work out okay. Ultimately, it's going to be okay. You will face your fears. You will have to go through that thing that really were so scared to have to face and so, hoping to avoid. You will have to go through those things. But what will happen each and every time is you learn just how strong you are. So it's about not allowing the compound effect of worry and fear to weigh you down so deeply that your mental and physical health is impacted. And this is about storing in your body your hopes and your dreams and your excitement and your passion, instead of storing in your body your fear, your upset, your burden of the past, your worry about the future. You got to flush those toxins out, and it's work. It takes work to do this. It's not something that you can just say it and in an instant, oh yeah, I released all the toxins. I no longer am holding fear, worry, anxiety, stress, you know, no, it doesn't work that way. These are things you have to actually work on every day, releasing, processing, believing that even if you do need to go through that thing, that you are going to be okay. It is going to be okay. All right. So I want you all to remember that whatever your big dream is, you have everything inside of you to make that dream a reality. And we're going to be here live every single Wednesday. I'm going to be answering questions live. I'm going to be here to serve and support you. I can't wait to hear the topics that you post. You can simply comment down below on this video. And I ask you to do that now. If you got one takeaway from this video, comment down below now and let me know. And if you have a question or a topic that you would like me to explore on this show, please post it in the comments. That would really help me to create meaningful experiences for you guys that make a difference. Okay. Adam wrote, I was in UE during the pandemic and can't thank you enough for sharing your heart and getting personal in your lives. Everything takes time and I've been leveling up ever since. Work. That's awesome. Thank you, Adam. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you all for spending some time with me here today. I'm looking forward to being back here at 11 a.m. Eastern each and every Wednesday. Thanks so much for being a part of this great dialogue. Comment down below with your biggest takeaways, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.